thanks for watching. As usual, please, if you wouldn't mind, take this opportunity, hit the like button, subscribe, whatever. Today I'm going to be talking about chronic pain in recovery, and this is an issue that I have a lot of experience with. And I know a lot of other people in recovery suffer from chronic pain. I know even that's like how a lot of people got into their addiction in the first place, is because of chronic pain and because of overprescribing of opioid pain relievers and things like that. I personally don't take any type of pain medication that is mind altering at all, because I can't. I'm in recovery. I'm a drug addict. One is too many, 1,000 is never enough. I don't use any type of mind-altering substance because I'm an addict. That includes marijuana products that contain THC. I'm a little bit bummed out today because I got an epidural steroid shot injection in my neck a few days ago. I had really high hopes. It seemed to have been working, but the pain is back with a vengeance. So I'm a little bit bummed out. I have a follow-up here in a couple weeks, and I'm left with the decision if I want to try again. They said this could happen, that it might not work. So I'm left with the decision if I want to try again or if I want to try something else. I'm going to keep trying. That's because although I do know that narcotic pain medication does have a time and a place, I do believe that time is after all other options have been completely exhausted. It is a last resort. There's a lot of other things I can try. There's Qigong therapy, there's acupuncture, AccuDetox. I do chiropractic care as often as I can. It's a little hard because my insurance doesn't cover it, so I am paying out of pocket, and I'm a poor person. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Massages do give some temporary relief. I take advantage of those as often as I can, but again, I can't afford to just drop $100 all the time. It's expensive, and it really sucks that our modern healthcare system doesn't recognize these beneficial tools as healthcare. I am starting physical therapy. I've tried it before, but I always just kind of like went a few times and then backed out, and like I never really followed through with it. So I'm actually gonna follow through with it this time. I'm at a place in my life where I have good support. I have a good support system, and I can follow through. But for a lot of years, it was ibuprofen and just pushing through. And cool thing I learned in recovery is that ibuprofen actually does work, which is cool. But if you take it at the frequency I was having to take it, because I have a lot of pain, it ate away at my esophagus and my stomach lining. So now I have like a lot of other issues that I'm having to deal with on top of that, like nausea and just all kinds of other stuff. Anyway, long story short, I'm in a lot of pain, and some of you might be thinking, oh Zola, you're young, you're fine, your pain can't compare to mine at all. Well, okay, so my pain isn't worse than everybody's, but I know it's worse than like most people's. I'll show you guys my x-rays. I recently had an MRI done too. I have multiple compressed discs, and I have nerves that are being pinched, and so I get this like really horrible pain. It starts here, goes all the way down into my shoulder. It messes with the way I move. I constantly move like all the time because I guess that's just the muscles contracting, and some days are definitely better than others. I do have muscle relaxers that I take. They're not mind altering at all, and I do take them minimally because I really just don't want my body to get accustomed to feeling no pain, because I don't want my pain threshold to go even lower, because then you're more and more reliant on outside things to fix it. There's some days where I just have to suffer through it, and it really sucks. It really does. And that's the thing when you're in chronic pain too, sometimes you just learn how to tune it out. You forget what it's like not to be in pain. You just get used to a certain amount of pain, and so it's really only the breakthrough pain that bothers you. Exercise really does help. I mean, it's proven to help. It's your body's natural painkiller is your endorphins, and those get going when you get moving. Dopamine levels increase too, which makes you happy and makes you forget about the pain. If you can exercise without further hurting yourself, which I mean, there's some type of physical activity almost everybody can do, almost. These methods I'm suggesting are methods that I've tried that help me. Of course, they're not going to work for everybody. If you do something that I don't do, please go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'd really like to know. I'm not really going to get too much into medical marijuana. Next week, I'm actually going to be doing a video on that. I'm in recovery for addiction, and I can't have anything mind-altering. I just don't. To me, clean is clean. That's it. That's all there is to it. I'm not gonna live my life buffering from reality. If I'm gonna live my life buffering from reality, I'll just do my drug of choice. I like reality. I'll get into that a little bit more later on. That's not what this video is about. I know a lot of people have a lot of luck with CBD, and I do use CBD. I don't take it as a supplement just because it's so expensive. And you do kind of like seem to get immune to it. I know studies show that it is a more effective anti-inflammatory than ibuprofen without any of the side effects. But I know also the process to get CBD out of the cannabis plant is like pretty exhaustive, and for that reason, A, it's hard to find a reliable source, and B, it's really hard to find any that isn't gonna cost you an arm and a leg. I also have a CBD with arnica salve that I often put on my neck and put on my shoulders, and that's really helpful too. It is, but again, I use it sparingly because it's so expensive. Warm baths, cold baths, ice packs. I mean, there's a lot of tricks of the trade. There really are. There are times in recovery when you have to use pain medication, and that's okay too. I mean, if you break your ankle, please don't just take Tylenol. Don't be a hero. Don't torture yourself. That's insane. But at the same time, make sure you have safeguards in place, please. I have to get surgery next month in March, middle of March, and I'm really scared. I'm really scared because I know how quick my addiction can take over. You just don't know what use is gonna set it off again. You just don't. And so it's pretty scary. I'm using that fear as a positive motivator. I have told everybody around me, I've told people at my meetings. Of course, it's an outside issue, so you probably don't want to talk about that type of things while you're during your share, but there's the meeting after the meeting. I also have a good friend that lives down the street, and she is gonna hold on to my medication for me, and she is gonna bring it to me every day, and she's gonna give it to me as prescribed. Another thing is I have told my doctor that I am in recovery. In fact, I never go to the doctor alone. I just don't. Me and my husband both, we find somebody to go with us. If it's not each other, it's somebody else. And we always red flag ourselves, and we don't just do it like once and, oh, it's in our file, they know. We tell the doctor darn near every time we go because they forget. They do. It's just good to be proactive. You have to be your own advocate. You do. If you wait for somebody else to do it, then you're going to just end up screwed. And if your doctor is ignorant on the disease of addiction and they don't take you seriously, then find a new doctor. Find a good doctor, because that's not a good doctor. I wouldn't trust a doctor with my care like that. I have a safety plan in place. My life is amazing. My life is so great, and I have worked so hard to get where I am. It's not worth it for me to risk it. It's not worth it for me to take the chance. It's just not. And also, I'm having a friend like far away hold on to the medication and bring it here, because not only do I not want to risk it with myself, I'm not going to put my husband at risk. He'd probably be fine too, but that's just not fair for me to put him in that situation. It is necessary sometimes, but there are safety precautions you can take. I'm gonna take my medication. I'm gonna take it as prescribed. And when it's done, that's it. I'm not gonna manipulate the doctor. I'm not gonna play any of these games, because I have put these safeguards in place to prohibit my ability to do that. Because to me, my recovery is the most important thing. As far as like medication for my chronic pain, I'll cross that road if it comes to it. But there are so many alternative options out there that I've yet to exhaust. And I will exhaust all of them before I even remotely consider it. As far as spending money on massages, on chiropractic care, things like that, like, it does seem excessive and it does seem expensive, but you know what else was expensive? Dropping every dime I had on drugs so I could numb out for a little bit. So I can do that, but I just can't drop $100 or however much a week on a massage or chiropractic care or whatever. And you know what? Sometimes I just have to suck it up and be in pain, and that's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna die. It just sucks. And sometimes I cry because I'm in so much pain. That's okay. It sucks, but that's okay. At the end of the day, I have to be true to me. I really do. And I know if I have not tried everything out there besides mind-altering substances, mood-altering substances, things that are gonna get me high, then I know that I'm not being true to my recovery and I'm not being true to myself. That's all there is to it. Again, please drop in the comments. What do you do for pain? What do you do besides get high? I'm interested to know because really I'm always looking for ideas too. And I'll keep you guys posted on how things go with physical therapy and things like that. I know in the past when I was being diligent about going to the gym, which I have not because I know that actually brought me a lot of relief. So I'm actually optimistic about this. It does suck that I'm getting ready to move here pretty soon, so I'm gonna have to start this whole process over again, find a new physical therapist, a new chiropractor, a new massage therapist. I'm gonna have to start it all over again, but I think it'll be a lot easier this time because I already have all my records. I have the MRI, I have the x-rays, I have the history and the repertoire with these doctors that will go to bat for me. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This is a really hard subject to broach. It really is, because it is a touchy subject in recovery, because there are some people out there that are like, you die before you take medication. But it's like, dude, I've got a double hernia. I ain't about to come out of that and torture myself. Why? Why would I do that? I think I'm gonna listen to my doctor on this one and set up those safeguards. Yeah, to summarize, chronic pain medication should only be looked at as an absolute last resort after all other options have been completely exhausted. And even then, only under strict supervision of a doctor and a really, really good support system. So, okay, thanks guys. Oh, one more thing. Even if you say like, oh, I don't have a problem with opioids, a drug is a drug is a drug. If you don't already, you soon will if you are truly an addict. So just don't risk it. Bye.